Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Dinkum Talks. We are doing our second episode today, and we have two, not just one, but two special guest stars on this episode. They're one of my favorite content creators. They're been following the channel almost from day one. I got to meet them personally a while back when I did Ellie's Island tour. So, guys, today we have Commit and Ellie. How are you guys doing today?
Doing well?
Hi, thanks for having us.
I'm so excited that you guys are here in Dinkum Talks, and and yeah, so okay, so we're here for answers. We're here to get to know you guys. I do feel like one of the best thing about you, the two of you, you guys are a husband and wife duo, playing Dinkum together, and just having fun. Watching you guys on stream is always amazing. So first question, people always like to know is how did the two of you discover Dinkum, or who discovered it first, and who convinced the other one to play? How did that happen?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm gonna let Ellie take that one.
Okay, well, we discovered Dinkum on YouTube probably a week or two before it was to be released last July. And we were just kind of looking for new games to play, and we saw the trailer, and we were kind of, I don't know, in love from the beginning, really. It
Oh,
looked really fun. So we waited for it to become available, and we both started, I believe, day one.
Yeah, and we are
Hmm.
also really big fans of Animal Crossing: New Horizons. Yeah, I mean, that was a big, that was a big game that took over our lives 2 years ago, 3 years ago actually,
oh yeah.
and just the concept of an adorable game that had those kind of similarities, but the fact that it was based in Australia just I don't know. It really hooked us, and it's history ever since.
So yeah. So you guys saw the trailer, but what was it about that trailer? Because everything is early access. And you don't know how the game's gonna be. You guys gotta, in a way, you commit to the early access. But what was it like? There was something, especially for Ellie. What was something specifically that you saw when you like, out of all the other games that you could have chosen, you chose Dinkum. What was it about that made you pick this game?
Well, I think that, like he said, the similarities to Animal Crossing, but that you could build up your town. But it wasn't just that. Like you could play with people, so I knew we could play together, which was kind of something I enjoy is being able to play together. And I even bought it for my son, though he doesn't play yet. But anyway, I wanted to bring everyone in. Uh, but yeah, just being able to create your own world and design, and I don't know. There's
I think,
nothing that I don't like about Dinkum right now, but
yeah, I think another thing too, because it was early access, there's always that risk of, um, an incomplete game and everything. And when we were really doing our homework for this, we looked a lot into the dev blogs, the Dinkup website, and James. The fact that it was done by one person and it looked very polished, and we started on it, um, started downloading it and just seeing how easy it was to kind of pick up, and just like the early game was really awesome. Just like how it rewarded you
Yeah.
just every step of the way.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, because for me, Dinkum is the very first early access game I ever played. So I never done early access. This is the first one, and it was a very similar experience to you guys. It was, but I didn't know anything about Dinkum. I just happened to discover to two creators, Consocato, that a lot of people know, and Biwig. They were both playing this game, and I was like, oh my gosh! It was just like what Ellie answered is very similar to Animal Crossing, but the multiplayer aspect of it and having a little more freedom to do what you want in the game. I felt to me that's what attracted me the most. So it's very cool to hear you guys' response are very similar, but you guys did even more. You guys did your homework, like
Oh
that.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's so cool.
And it's Ellie's first early access game too, but I think what was what was a little disheartening about Animal Crossing was that they stopped development on it, and everyone was wanting more. But another, I guess, selling point for us when we were looking at Dinkum early on was that this is one person that's pretty much devoted their lives to building this game up. And even though it's early access, it was very polished, and there's also going to be a lot more content that's going to be added regularly. And I think that was a really important thing for Ellie, just to have more content regularly added.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I remember when I first started, it did feel emptier, but you kept hearing the developer communicating with the community, say, "Hey, I'm working on this. I'm working on that." He was always so vocal. Was he's working on? What's the future? What's coming next? Yeah, the update might be a little delayed, but it's coming. So that constant communication, even though it was early access, it does give you that hope. Like, okay, he's listening, he's working, and then he released that first Christmas update, and I think that really secured the community. Like, okay, this guy's for real. We getting items, and there's gonna be more items in the future to come. So I agree with your answer, comment. Okay, so the two of you are I kind of reference you guys. You guys are a power duo. Every time I watch the streams, it's so cool to see you two working together, communicating, talking about design, talking about the town layouts, and the way you guys work together is, to me, it is amazing because it's sometimes it's not easy working with other people. We all have different ideas, but you two are a husband and wife. So the main thing I want to ask is, how does that process? How's the back and forth? How do you two communicate when you're coming up with idea, asking for suggestion, asking design? Is there stuff in the background that happens? The communication process?
Oh yeah. Um, we do a lot of couch collab. Is kind of what I say. Like we have a gaming setup where we have, we play on TVs, and Ellie will be working on her island, and she'll ask me questions, and I'll be working on mine, and I'll say, hey, what do you think about this? And most of my stuff, right, is just, hey, I built something really out there and goofy. What do you think about it? And just I always love to hear her laugh at it. What do you think, Ellie, on your side?
I agree with that. I would like to say that, especially for the streams, before we know we're going on stream, we'll kind of like say, what are we going to do today? And usually we're working on separate things, but we do work on his island. So I like to run things by him. He usually tells me, do what you think is best, but I want to make sure that he wants what I want to build, you know? So I think in the game and just like in our life, we always talk about things before we just jump into them.
Yeah, we have that mutual respect.
Yeah.
Um,
But
so
but not
I
everything is rosy and peaches, right? There has to be some a little back and forth sometimes, right? Or you guys are truly that perfect.
well, I mean, we've been together for 11 years, and we refer to like a, I don't know how to describe it. Like we kind of have like a happy bubble. We just kind of we're happy together. We enjoy spending time together. Um, I know it sounds kind of unrealistic, but it's true. We enjoy spending time together a lot and playing,
Well,
hanging out.
I like that. I like that answer. I like that you guys communicate, and it seems that there is that mutual respect when Ellie's working on your island, even though she may not disagree on something that you would like to do, but she does. It's your island, so she takes that into consideration, and she makes it work. And I believe it's probably the same thing when you work on her island, and
Mm,
that
I would like to
communication.
No,
say,
hold
yeah,
on.
Oh
yeah,
no, no,
yeah,
no, no. Oh,
yeah.
ooh, what we got? What we got?
Ellie's Ellie's island is Ellie's island.
Oh, you can't touch it.
So that's it. It's more or less. She's a designer, and I like I said, we couch collab, but Ellie's island, Porcelina, and all the other islands that she has, that's purely her. That's all her.
Okay. So does that mean that you're not allowed to touch anything over there?
It
Yes.
might be unspoken that way, but to be honest, I play probably, I don't know, what do you think? 3 or 4 times as much as you do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when we play together, we're usually on his island building it up because I mine's already done.
Okay. All right. I like this.
But yeah,
I think people are
It's
getting to know you guys more and more. This is cool.
yeah, it's not anything negative. It's not like you can't touch my island ever. It's just yeah.
Yeah, your island is an open canvas for Ellie, so she can just come in
Yeah,
and
that's
work
exactly right.
and do her stuff. So come in. So one of the other things that I notice in the community, and I'm one of those. I'm part of the when we see you and we call you the helipad king, because your helipads are truly incredible. You have come up with so many different ideas, design, level, water, ground, one for each NPC. They're all in different style, and it's amazing, because when helipads started to coming into the picture, almost everybody did it the same way. One H, a little square, and that was it. But you took it to the next level, and not just on one design, not on two, but you have so many designs. And your trademark is when you collab with other creators, you go and you make helipads, and people loved it. The KD gentleman, having the key and the K and the D, is you're the helipad king. So what's your process to coming up with more ideas for helipads? Because it's such a simple design in a way, but you make them look good with fencing, with pathing, with decorating, and they're all unique in their own way. So how's that process? How does your mind work when it comes to that?
First off, thank you. Um, I I think that it's very sweet. First off, that the community, you know, gives out titles and everything. And like you said, the designs are simple, but it's very humbling that people kind of have that appreciation for those sorts of things. But to answer your question, I'm an Air Force veteran, and it's not like I didn't fly helicopters or anything like that, but I did work on a flight line. Um, so my process around the designs is that the central point, the H that you're landing on, you should have a design that kind of pulls your eyes to the center. That way, it's easy to land. And
Mm-hmm.
like you said, it is a 3x3 square starting with the H, but personally, I like to add brackets around it just to kind of separate it. If you see other helipad designs, you kind of see what I'm talking about. But using the different pathing and Dinkum, kind of, it's fun to experiment with those kind of combinations. And when I first made the one that I did, it was just a high contrast, like the black cobblestone with the mushroom path, and it was guided a little bit by the community. And then I started experimenting with, what? I mean, this is kind of like my helipad, and I share it with Franklin, but that kind of got me thinking, like, what would a helipad be for other characters like
Yeah.
Rain or Irwin? And it was, you mentioned like how we collaborate a lot. Well, one of Ellie's philosophies is if you find yourself going to a certain place often, to make a path there instead of just kind of jumping over fencing and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I found myself going to other parts of my island often to do stuff on my helicopter, and I was like, you know what? I'm not just going to have one helipad. I'm going to have multiple helipads because truthfully, that's where I land.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like that is the that's kind of the relationship that we have, is like she's really talented design. I my for my real-time job I do engineering, so it's kind of like that. It's like, hey, it's going to be pretty, but it's also going to be functional, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense. And with your background, with your knowledge that you have already for the military, you've seen all those helipads in action. So it makes sense why they're so good. And it's amazing to also hear your process and the way you approach it, because you approach it, I can tell the sincerity and how much love you have for your designs, and they're truly incredible. The combination, the colors, and to match every NPC. I think when you started making that series of the different helipads for each NPC, I think it really opened the door to people be like, oh wow, we can make helipads in whole different ways. So, and this leads me to the next question. Do you have more helipads idea, more like really cool ideas design, maybe more on the floating water, high up helipads, like you actually have to go up with stairs? Is there more helipads design coming for us in the future to accommodate into our islands?
Yeah, I think so. You know, on my island, there's a section that Ellie made for, her house and everything like that. And my other designs were very, because we Dinkum is a game of tiles, right? So
Yes.
you're working with squares, and to do other geometric shapes using that kind of format is a little bit of a challenge. But for hers, I wanted to do something a little different to kind of circularize it in a way.
Yeah.
If you've seen it, so once I got that, there's some other helipads that I did for Shelly Marie, and then the one on Moxie's that adopts some of those same kind of designs, but just mixing things around. So yeah, I do have some other ideas like that I can do, experimenting with different paths and everything. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and that's cool. You're the helipad king. I think I'm taking. I mean, I take inspiration from your helipads and your designs and your combination idea, because it's not just, hey, I never thought about using that fence with that tile in that combination, and then now I can bring that into another build. So it's not just you just helping us create amazing helipads. You're also helping us see different combination of items being used, so then we can apply that combination to other builds in our island. So it's a win-win situation for us, because we get amazing helipads, plus we also get inspiration of ideas and combination of patterns that I would never thought about using. So it's such a pleasure just to see that. So, and Ellie, your channel is doing great. I love the content that you're putting out, and you have a different take compared with other creators that I've seen. You do tiny tours, and they're amazing. They're so cute. They take you straight to the point. The way you film your tiny tours are really good. The way you highlight what you're talking about in that 2 minute sequence. You highlight, you explain, you showcase the shots that you do. They're so good. So how did tiny tours came? How that idea came to do that for your content?
Yeah, so tiny tours is something that I came up with because I had done a couple of tours, including one hosted by you. And I love watching island tours, but I'm more of an introverted person, and that kind of, I don't know if I can do an hour or two tour. So I thought, what if I can just do like these small shots of individual areas and show off, just this section. So that was my idea to get my channel started and to get me more comfortable with doing videos. And I think it's really helped. They did start out as like 2 minutes, but I think recently we've had a 10-minute and a 12-minute one. So they're kind of growing.
Yeah, and we love that. The community loves that, and people that have found your channel, and you see it on chat. I bring it up. I know I'm one of those. I'm guilty, but I bring it up all the time. And I want more Ellie's videos. I know that for a fact, and I want them to be a little longer. But it's true. Now they're 10 minutes, 12 minutes, and it's good. Because we get to see more of your creation. We get to see more of your design, because it's just like Comet said. You two bring two different aspects of designing in Dinkum. You're super creative, coming up with this ideas, the way you bury items, plants, just the whole works, right? And then Commit is very structured, very linear, helipads. What he did with his compass design that we're gonna talk about very soon is two different styles, but you two together make an awesome combination, and I love to see that.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. We get a lot of inspiration from each other.
Yeah.
I have another island that I've been building up, and I kind of stole from some of his ideas, or borrowed, I
Ooh.
guess.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Ooh,
that's
another
pretty
Ellie
cool.
Island. Ooh, I'm excited for that. We need to see that one day. But this leads to the next question that is about you, Commit. Your compass idea. It's blown. It's done. It's amazing. People love it. And fits perfectly on the mini map. And I know you explained it many times, but you're in Dinkum Talks. So we want to know exactly how this process came, your idea, why you wanted to do this, and did you really plan it that it fit on the mini pack, or was it just a happy accident? So tell us your story.
Yeah, that's a good question. So I we both watch streams and videos and everything, and take inspiration from others. And one challenge I think that I like to do is I try to think outside the box. And if we see a design that's going around that a lot of people are attempting, for me, I think it's fun to try something a little bit different. And I thought about the compass rose. It's like, all right, when I first started making videos, I was thinking that I wouldn't do live streams until I hit 200 subscribers. But I'm kind of happy that I didn't do that because I'm having a lot of fun live streaming, and I wanted to have a project that I could work on with an audience. And I thought, this is something that I could work on multiple sessions. And
Yeah.
I just I found some things. Like, I know a compass rose is just, it's something that is on classic maps, and it kind of helps you, get oriented and stuff. And um, the fact that it fit inside of the mini map, like, that was a happy accident. Like, I didn't think I wanted it to be, a good size. I didn't want to make it to be too small, but I did know I wanted to be like out in the middle of nowhere, so that was a lot of dirt printing to kind of get that structure going. But it was a lot of fun to build, and put the final, like the final touches on it. And it was really sweet to have a lot of people along for the ride.
Yeah, and that leads me to the next question, because we consider that pixel art, right? And I've
Yeah.
seen a lot of Dinkum creators, or they're not even creators, just on the official Dinkum Discord channel, they put up pixel art, and there's some amazing work. But yours is not just, it's also functional. It has a purpose. It's like part of the map, so it's really cool, because the concept of the idea, when you open your map, you have this compass, so it's a combination of both. So do you have more plans for future projects like this, like adding more map item that's also pixel art, but it's also part of a map structure?
Uh, that's a good question. I I see the pixel art, and I am a big believer of uh functional design, I guess. And that's kind of why I do the helipads the way that I do, because it's something that you can use. The compass rose is like, it is pixel art, but like you said, it is also functional too. Like, I don't want to just, me personally, like, I don't want to put a design on the map that is just going to, you know, it's just going to be pixel art for the purpose of being pixel art. Like, I
Yeah.
want it to be something that you can use. Which, what is kind of a happy accident in a sense, is that the way that the patterns of the helipads that I've made, especially on Shelly Marie and Moxie's Island, they kind of become pixel art themselves if
Yeah.
when everything loads up. So that's kind of a cool after effect.
Okay, and then Ellie, are you planning to also add some pixel art more to your islands? Is that something you would like to do as well? Like how Kamen has made that part of his process. Are you planning to do that, something similar to that for your islands?
I don't have any plans at the moment, but you never know. I do like a really good map, though. I
Okay.
do like things to balance, and I spent several days trimming a river down once just to make it look good on the map. So,
Okay, yeah.
you know,
That's awesome. Yeah, I love hearing those ideas and what's coming, because that's the next question that I was gonna ask is future project. Is that something you guys would like to give us a hint? What's coming? Maybe future videos, future content on your channels. Like what's next for Comet and Ellie in Dinkum?
well, one of my plans is to have some design ideas videos. Some things that I guess maybe not naturally, but normally that I do on my island, I guess isn't something everyone thinks about. So I wanted to kind of share some of those with people.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
excited about that. All right.
yeah, and so those would be longer, obviously. And I think someone brought it up in our, I think it was Januki brought it up in our one of our live streams, she's like, "Well, I've never seen that. You should do a, 5 design tips video." So it's been turning in my head, and I've got some ideas, and so that should be coming soon.
Ooh, that's truly exciting. That's because I'm being honest. The community wants more content, more Ellie content, and bringing more design ideas. I think that's gonna be really really good. And then you comment. What's your future plans for Dinkum in your channel?
Well, I like to have fun with some I like to be goofy, and other than like helipads, there are some other builds that I want to add on to, like the bathhouse is really close to a teletower. Like I want to find a way of kind of connecting that and building a little bit of the lore into that because it's
Oh,
a whole thing.
yeah, that's
Um,
interesting. I like that.
I have to I have to finish my like heli skid park and the jump there and finish those kind of things. So yeah, I mean, Ellie and I, like, just for my island specifically, we kind of have like a list of projects and stuff that we want to add to and everything, but I don't want to give too much away.
No, exactly, exactly. I wanted to know enough to tease everybody that's watching, but at the same time, I know how that is. We gotta keep things under wrap because sometimes they don't work out, and we don't wanna give everybody's hopes. So I understand that process, and all that. Guys, this has been such a good experience. Is having you two here, listening to your process, listening to where you guys communicate, design, taking care of each other, working on two islands, and just coming up with new ideas and growing with the community is just amazing to hear, amazing to experience that, and getting you here one on one has been amazing. But before we wrap it up, I always like to hear from creators. We just heard James. James was here first episode, and we heard amazing things that James is working. He gave us teaser. We saw the trucks, and but what's something that maybe James didn't mention? Maybe the adding us that you guys will still maybe just to hint at. Maybe that will keep it on James' radar. That you guys would like to see that be good for the game to keep making the game awesome, keep growing it, and or maybe something you hear the community has been wanting to be added to the game. So, do you guys have any opinions on that?
Um, One of the things that like I personally appreciated was the camera tripod, and I use that a lot in my videos because it offers a unique perspective. So one of the things that like I have kind of pitched to James is more cinematography type of tools to kind of get different angles and uh, you know I, those are one of like some of the things that I'm excited about. And I guess another thing is that we find when we're playing in multiplayer the need to move people.
Mm-hmm.
So having vehicles and stuff that can seat more than one person is always helpful to be able to like move people around. Your turn, Ellie.
Okay. Well, I don't know what to say, honestly, because whenever I see people asking for more and more and more and more, like, of course, I want more things to design with. I want um, more NPCs, more things to build. So I don't really know
and
what
that
to
and
ask
that's
for
okay. That's
or what,
okay.
you know,
It's
I'm
completely okay.
happy with what, yeah, with what he brings us, because honestly, he comes up with these ideas I could have never thought of. So just give us more of James' creative mind, right?
Oh yeah, it's like we tell
I'm happy.
James. I said it on the interview. James, whatever you give us, don't worry about it. We'll make it work. We'll use it in ways that you
Mm-hmm.
never thought of. So don't stress yourself. Just create items. We'll use them. And
Yeah.
and that's a great thing. And I know he's excited about the series. He's excited to hear from other creators. He can't reach to everybody, but this is why I like to ask these questions, either on Island Tours or in Dinkum Talks, is because you never know. There's so many things that we can't think ourselves, but another person is thinking of, and maybe that's an idea that James really likes. So that's why it's important. It's all about communication. It's all
Mm-hmm.
about talking, and that's why we're doing this, right? It's just getting to know you guys, getting to know what you guys are about for Dinkum, for the community, and what ideas you guys have. And it's been amazing. Comet and Ellie, I'm just so thankful that you guys came to Dinkum Talks, second episode. I think this is such a great start. We started strong with James, starting our second episode with the power duo of Dinkum, the way I like to call it. I'm just so honored and humble that you guys came and sat down with me one on one to talk about Dinkum, and I had a great time with you guys.
We really appreciate it. Definitely.
And for everyone that's listening, we're gonna have all the links, all the descriptions of their channels right on the description. So go click it, follow it, see their content. If you like what you see, subscribe to their channel because they're amazing content creators as well.
Thanks, Jersey, for having us. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm very honored that you chose us for your second Dinkum Talks.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Thank you for having us.